Well, some
They're
people
going to
wonder
bring
why
the
I
most
do
sacred
this.
vessel of their religion
I remember listening to this
to the
guy.
holy place.
He's going to tell you about the Ark of the
After the
Covenant.
ark had been
He's going to save God for you.
captured by the Philistines and then
But
later
it's
restored,
this
it had
God.
been stored
No real God. It's this God.
in storage, as it were, removed
It's
from the life of
amazing.
the people. And now David is going to restore the glory to Israel.
It's
He's going to
amazing
restore the throne of
what
God to its
people will
proper
do
place. And so he has a
to
brand
keep their
new
narrative.
cart made
Brand new
in
cart.
order to carry this precious cargo of the Ark of the Covenant.
Yeah, God himself.
And he has Uzzah and Ahio to lead the oxen that are carrying the ox, or
turn it
carrying the ark. Now, I don't know which side of the ox cart Uzzah was on.
They're
My guess
carrying
is,
the
Dave
Ark.
Bookman,
God kills
stood by the-
Uzzah.
the nigh ox, right? Which would make him on the right side. I thought it was the left side. How's a guy here in the second row that has PhDs in cows? Can you believe that? I know other guys have PhDs in bull, but I don't know anyone else that has a PhD
Yeah, you're
in
full of
cows.
bull.
He's told me about this ox. But anyway, here comes this jubilant procession accompanied by choirs singing their anthems and all the musicians playing the cymbals and the harps and all the rest. And this great procession, this great parade is moving along wonderfully until suddenly one of the oxen stumbles.
One of the,
And when that ox stumbles, the cart is tilted on its side.
the Ark
The
stumbles.
sacred Ark of the Covenant begins to slide and is in immediate danger of falling into the dirt.
One of the first questions I had when I started
Into the
reading my
mud.
Bible again. Think, people, think.
Where it would be surely desecrated.
Is this your God of the cosmos?
And I think probably
Or is this a God of
instinctively,
superstition?
out of a sense of respect for this sacred
There you go.
object,
You can know that I still
lest
have
it
your channel,
become
Ace Basin,
marred in the dirt,
since our channels are
Uzzah
covered.
stretches forth his hand to steady the ark.
He's trying to
And
steady
what
the
does
Ark.
the scripture say? As soon as
After
he
all,
steadied
God
the
was
ark
in it.
and kept the ark from falling into the mud, the heavens opened, and this deep voice shouted to him from heaven, "Thank you, Uzzah."
He's being sarcastic. No, the opposite happened. God
Not
killed
how
him.
it happened.
That God, anyway. That's a
As soon
story.
as he touched the ark,
To save it from falling.
instantly he was stricken.
By God, supposedly.
Instantly, God executed
Now
him.
this
Oh,
guy
the
has to save
gymnastics
God
my
for
Old
all
Testament
these people in the
professors went through
audience.
In seminary, say, well, that's the way it seemed to these.
Oh, he went to
unsophisticated
seminary. You mean
Hebrews who were watching
cemetery
this.
for
They
your
said,
mind.
Surely the man just dropped dead of a heart attack generated by his terror that he would venture to touch the sacred object.
Yeah, that's all it is. They're trying to make excuses for God. All right, I got to turn it around here. Turn it around. I'm not apologizing for what people call God anymore. I live my life trying to defend this stuff. This God that he talks about is the most unpleasant character of all fiction. That's what that God is. And if you read your Bible for what it says, you'd find that out. But people have to believe this, or the whole rest of the narrative that follows for Jesus will fall apart, because they'll realize it all comes from lies and superstitions, and that they have to hold together and believe in. I don't even like looking at the camera anymore, because, you know, who would I be really enjoy looking at saying this? But this guy will defend, where is it out here? This guy will defend this kind of God till the end.
This is evidence that whatever portrayal we have of the wrath of God in the Old Testament portrays God's wrath as being arbitrary, whimsical, capricious. An example of what one professor even called the dark side of Yahweh.
Now listen to what he says
The
about that.
demonic element within the nature of God himself. You know what I thought about that professor who said, this represents the dark side of Yahweh? I thought, what an oath.
What an oath! Let me turn this around, because
What a line that was.
What an oaf, he says. No, you're an oaf.
It's too late for me to use it. I've been preaching through 1 Samuel 2, and I'm already
Because
past
somebody
that.
used their
So,
common sense
I'd like to read it
and
back.
looked at it for what the story was about. What if you were carrying, what if you told someone,
Evidently,
stop?
these people never read the 4th chapter of Numbers.
Oh, you haven't read the other chapters
You
of
realize
Numbers
that
seriously.
when God divided the tribes, and he gave the responsibility of the priesthood and the teaching to the tribe of Levi.
No, man did,
The tribe
you
of Levi was a
idiot.
pretty large tribe.
Idiot. Alright, so this guy's an idiot. He calls somebody else an oaf for thinking different than he does. This guy's an idiot. He's dead now. And I can assure you, he's not in a heaven place with a nice God. If he's somewhere else, he's stuck with his own thoughts about what God is. He's stuck with himself, if he is anywhere. Because he planted his own seeds, just like we all do. There ain't no Jesus going to save this guy from his own ignorance. How do you know that Jesus said, "I go to my Father," but you believe in your father is the devil or Satan? Maybe he meant the God of the Old Testament. Maybe when Jesus walked away, he knew the Father was with him all the time. Just maybe. But if this is your God, like my old friend Sidney Knapp used to say, you should be ashamed of yourself. You should be ashamed of yourself. All so that you can get to heaven and avoid hell. You're going to believe in this crap. You're going to believe in an outright, in your face, unjust God, even though it's not the God of the cosmos. But they made you so afraid. Fear is the active ingredient. All the one-eyed farmers use fear. There you guys with the one-eyed farmers again. And you heavy-duty debaters out there, you think some people can't debate. No, they can't be. I'm not sophisticated. I'm not sophisticated enough. And all these atheist debaters out there, you're going too far out. All you got to do is cut down the basics. And you can avoid all these long talks with these idiots. Just cut it right down. What would you do? Would you believe if I said, if they told you we're carrying Joe Biden in a box around, but you can't see him. We're carrying him around. And don't touch the box. And if you drop it, invisible Joe Biden is going to send a force out and kill you. Because he's holy. Joe Biden is holy. And he's going to strike you dead. Could you imagine that? Well, you can't see Joe Biden, but he's in the box you're carrying around. You're carrying him around. And you're doing all the formalities that Joe Biden would want to do. Okay. Well, I'm just using Joe Biden because he's the president now, right? So, just to give you an example, I could use anybody. But for right now, and I know, never mind. So anyway, would you think it's fair that, Joe Biden's about to fall, but this guy makes an excuse that, well, you go back into the certain verse here, it says how it was specifically made with rings so that you could put a rod through it so nobody would touch it. You'd be holding the rod that went through the ring. And the guy was trying to save it from going into the mud. But the mud didn't have sin, the guy said. How far out, you ridiculous idiot. So they have to make you so terribly bad and this God so great that he can just kill you because you're so damn dirty. But yet he's your father and creator. Is that who this God is? No, this is the most unpleasant character of all fiction. And he keeps changing even though he says he doesn't change. And he likes all kinds of rules. And he likes preaching fools like this guy here. He likes preaching fools. And they're all over the place. Oh, here's the question I wanted to ask. For all you famous Christian preachers out there.
Clans into families. And among the
clans.
clan of the covenant.
Why doesn't God, if that guy just from trying to save the thing to drop it down God's holy throne, he automatically, oh, yeah, I'm carrying God around. Oh, he's about to fall. I'm going to just stop it, edge it up so it doesn't fall. Out of a reaction, and God's going to kill him for just having a natural reaction. If God is that picky, why doesn't he strike dead all these damn preachers for preaching wrong to people? For all the Benny Hinns and Kenneth Copeland, why doesn't he strike them down? You have nothing. You have nothing to answer that. You're a bunch of false prophets. You swindled people out of their, not only their money, but their lives. To hell with you, false prophets. You stupid idiot preachers. May God, if there be a God, strike you false prophets dead for preaching, going to your ceremonies, really they're cemeteries for your mind, and leading the blind with the blind. Let's say, kiss my behind, but you ain't good enough. There you go. It's all superstitious, but you need it for your narrative to get to your loving Jesus, which is also a story that you've totally misinterpreted. That's about all. Been there, big time. What a crime. And I won't apologize for the truth.